Welcome back to Hi Haley.
Great to be back.
We say that every time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this week is episode 22. And so for my 22 question, I'm going to ask if you could have 22 of anything, what would it be?
Let's go with 22 national titles for my beloved Gophers.
Solid, solid. Go
And you?
Gophers. I think this is a tough one because I would like 22 of a lot of things, but I'm going to have to say 22 franchises of, let's go with, no, Chick-fil-A.
Mm,
Unlimited chicken right there.
yeah. I think you still got to pay for the ingredients, though.
Yeah, but I'll be wealthy because I'll own 22 Chick-fil-A, so we'll be
Okay.
great. All right. So today we're going to chat about a new topic, which is DevOps and how it relates to Power Platform. But more specifically, we use DevOps here at Ascendex for our projects, and so it's a great way to manage your projects. And so today we're going to touch on using it for source control and just as a repository. So I'm going to transfer this to you and let you go through it.
So where we're at right now is on our basically our main environments page in Power Platform. So we're going to connect our Alumni Central to source control. But before that, we'll just take a look at the solution. So I'm just going to click on it here. So I clicked on solutions, and then I can go to my actual solution here. So what we're going to see is that we've got a few pieces already in the solution, like our table that we've created, or a couple tables. Looks like we've got a reset password cloud flow as well, or Power Automate flow. But what we'll notice is that our Power Pages site is not currently in here. So what we can do to get that added to our solution is we can go up to the top and click Add Existing, and then we'll go to Site. And then we're going to see we've got all of the sites that exist in our current environment. So the two that we've done in demos before are Alumni Central and TV show ratings. So this time we're just going to select Alumni Central, and we're going to add this guy to our page, or to our solution. It might take a second or two here.
And so, Matt, to touch on DevOps a bit, like you could use it with BC, F&O, like really anything,
Yep,
especially in the Microsoft realm, integrates well.
exactly. All right, so this is just loaded here. So we added the site, and we'll see that the system automatically grabbed all of the related components to that site. So all of the different pages as part of our Power Pages were added here. So all the changes that we've made to things like fonts and colors, all of that stuff is stored in files in Power Pages, and that gets added to our solution here. So it makes it really powerful if we want to have version control on some of these things. So if Haylee goes rogue and changes the colors, we can always revert back to an old version to get rid of those nasty changes that you made.
And I've gone rogue before. I've accidentally deleted stuff. So having this is
Accidentally
super
deleted
helpful.
code minutes before a demo.
It was on a whim.
So this source control stuff is new. So when she deleted those, we didn't have source control at the time, which is kind of unfortunate. We were able to recover from it though, so not the end of the world. But it would have been really nice to have that kind of backup to all of our code here. But now that we've got all of our code added in, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Overview tab. That's not what I want to do. We're going to go back to Solutions. And then what we're going to see is that there is now a column here for source control status. So this is basically telling us, is this solution connected to source control? So something to note is that if you don't see this column here, the source control status, or you don't see the button connect to Git, basically means your environment is not set up as a managed environment. So all you need to do is just hop over to Admin Center for Power Platform and just click this Enable Manage Environments button. And then that will allow you to go ahead and connect to source control. So there are some restrictions and things like that that come into place when you enable that managed environment. So just make sure that that's really what you want to do before you enable that. But it does give you some extra features as well when you set that. All right, so what we're ready to do now is we're ready to connect this to DevOps. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to uncheck our Alumni Central solution, and we're going to click this button up at the top that says Connect to Git. So then what we're going to do is we're going to select what type of connection that we want to have. So do we want to connect the entire environment to source control, so all of our solutions, or just a specific solution? So I like to just connect individual solutions so I can have separate projects for the different things that we're working on. So we're just going to go with that for now. So we're going to click Solution. And then in the drop down here, we're going to select what organization in DevOps that we're connected to. So we're just going to select our Ascendex DevOps. And then from here, we can select what project we want to connect this to in DevOps. So I'm just going to select Alumni Central. And I'm going to select what code repository in DevOps. So right now we only got one. And then we're going to give it basically a root folder. So I like to just call this main. So we're going to click Next. And then we're going to say what solution we want to use. So this one is going to be Alumni Central. And then we're going to see here that it's going to tell us that we need to have a branch. So I don't have a branch set up in DevOps yet. So we're just going to hop over to DevOps here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select on the repositories tab. Then we're going to see that it's giving me a message here saying all of my repositories are empty. So what we just need to do here is initialize the main branch. So I'm just going to click initialize. And then we're going to see we now have a main branch set up. And then it added that README automatically. So then we're going to go back to Power Platform here. And then we're going to see that that main branch now shows up. So then what we're going to do is we're going to just go ahead and click Connect. And then it's just giving me a warning here saying, basically, once you connect the solution to Git, you can't unconnect it. Yep. Now, this is all still in preview mode, so we don't recommend this for production environments yet, anything like that. But it is something cool to kind of play around with, waiting for them to go general availability with it. This may take a minute or two to load here. So depending on how long this takes, Haley's either going to play some Jeopardy music or we're just going to cut to when it's done.
Definitely.
Now, luckily, we didn't have to do either of those. So what we're going to do now is we're going to click on our solution. And we are going to see that there's now a new tab on our left side here called Source Control. Again, they make it obvious that this is preview. So then what we're going to see is the system is now added or is starting to add all of our different objects to the list here of things that we want to commit. So if I refresh here, we're going to see it went up to 23. Now it's up to 26. So there were a couple hundred objects in my solution based on all those different pages that were added from Power Pages. So this time we might actually need to cut and wait for it to complete. All right, so it finished processing. So it found 221 changes that it wants to commit to the repository. So what we'll see is that yellow bar kind of went away that said changes are being processed in the background. So the first time you do this, it might take a while. And then every subsequent time, if you make a lot of changes between commits, again, it might just take a while for it to go through that process. But then what we're going to see is that we've got a list of every single change that was made, what the type is. So is this a change to our solution? Is it changed to something on our Power Pages site? And we'd also see things like tables being changed, relationships, anything you can think of, all stored in this table here. And then we'll also see what time it was changed on. So now that we're ready to make our first commit to source control, what I'm going to click is the commit button. And then we're just going to give it a comment. We'll just say that this is the initial commit. And then we'll click the commit button. All right, so now it's been committed. So what we'll see now is that there aren't any changes that were made to this environment since our last commit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hop back over to DevOps quick, and then we're just going to refresh this guy. And now we're going to see in that main folder that we created, we've got our Alumni Central folder with all of our changes in Power Platform. So we'll see entities, these are all of our tables, and then all of the pieces that go into that table. So we now have version control on our Power Platform page, our Power Platform solution. So what we'll do is we'll just hop back over to Power Platform here. I'm actually just going to make a change to one of our objects, and then we're going to commit it again and see what that process looks like. So we're just going to let's go to a table here, and let's just add a new field. So let's click on our event. Now what are our fields here? So we'll just open this guy up.
Maybe event date. I don't think I put that in there.
Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to say date, and then we'll give it our date time, date only. And we'll just make sure we've got everything set. So we're good there. So I'll go ahead and click save. All right, so we're going to go over to source control, and then we're now going to see that we've got a couple new components in here. So we've got basically an update to the solution. So this is probably like the version number or something like that, just background processing. But we're going to now see that we've got a new attribute. This is that date field that we added, and then it says we created it. So then I'm going to go ahead and just click commit, and we'll say added date field.
And so would I commit every time I made a change, or like at the end of a working session on it, you would commit?
Depends on your practices for
Okay.
source control. Now, if you have multiple developers, probably whenever you like finish a feature or something like
Yeah.
that with multiple environments, but if it's just yourself working on something, logical endpoints. That's
Gotcha.
kind of how I like to do it. All right, so we're going to go back to DevOps here, and we're now going to see that we have a change that says just now a change was made, but I'm just going to go to entities, event, attribute, and now we're going to see that date field is in here. And then it's going to show all of the code that Power Platform uses kind of in the background is all stored in source control. We can also click on the commits button, see kind of the history of who's made what commits. So we had the initial commit at 10:56, and then we just added that date field in here, and we can see that comment. And when we click on that, it's also going to show us all of the changes that were made. So that's kind of it there is to it. Again, really powerful to have this as part of the application lifecycle management toolkit for Power Platform, especially for version control. It's really nice to have, and even working with multiple developers across different environments, this can be super powerful for that as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that walkthrough, Matt.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. We'll see you for episode 23.
Maybe.
All right. Thanks for joining.